Hello and how's it going, everyone? It is Skullzi here with the latest Bethesda news, rumors, and speculation, and today I want to share a pretty exciting fan theory regarding the Elder Scrolls 6, and this fan theory also envelops the Hammerfell theory as well, because in case you don't know already, there's a lot of evidence that the Elder Scrolls 6 is set in Hammerfell and potentially also High Rock, two regions in one game, but that's not what we're talking about in today's video, even though that is pretty awesome and exciting. Instead, there was a couple of pretty interesting discussions going on my official Discord server, which you should join, by the way. We need more active members over on Skullzi Island. There's a link to it down in the description below, but there was a pretty awesome investigation and discussion going on regarding the Elder Scrolls 6, Hammerfell, and a potential hint from Skyrim. And some of you who are pretty in the know in regards to Elder Scrolls 6 theories and stuff may already know what I'm gonna be talking about and referencing in today's video, but nonetheless, someone found some pretty interesting stuff to back up a pretty interesting theory, and I formed my own theory as well based on all this. And my theory actually has to do with what the main antagonist of the Elder Scrolls 6 might be, and I'm not just talking about the Thalmor, because yes, I do have a separate theory that involves the Thalmor, but I have a new one with this new information that I'm going to be presenting to you today, and huge shout out to Ravid for finding a lot of these wiki links and interesting discoveries that kind of led me to make this theory. And also huge shout out to Ravid for being the most recent supporter over on Patreon as well. But let's not waste any more time and get to this interesting and awesome theory. And I'm going to be showing you some links to back all this stuff up as well, because I'm not like a 100% expert in terms of Elder Scrolls lore. I do know a decent amount of stuff, but I'm definitely not an expert. I'm not a walking encyclopedia with Elder Scrolls lore knowledge, and with that in mind, I also don't know how to pronounce every single name that I'm going to be saying in this video, so don't judge me, shut up. And first of all, that Skyrim reference though was talking about was indeed Hadvar saying this line right here.
What next, giant snakes?
And I know this isn't the entire reason I'm talking about this in the video. I just thought this was a fun thing to tie into things, so don't worry, I'm not going far off the deep end with Skooma that much and starting to go way down the speculation train. I just thought that this was indeed interesting, and as you can see here, other people as well believe that Hadvar's little quote there could have been some kind of foreshadowing or a hint towards what we should expect to see in the Elder Scrolls 6 as well, although some people think that this might have to do with the Siesi, a snake-like race from Akavir invading Tamriel again, and there's a bunch of theories just based on this Hadvar quote. But the main reason that I'm talking about Hammerfell and why I'm looking up Hammerfell information is because obviously there's a lot of official Bethesda teases that seem to indicate Hammerfell will be in the Elder Scrolls 6. Now, whether or not you believe all of these teases, the fact that there are so many moments that seem to point to Hammerfell has to be something to take into those consideration ronies. Yes, from Chef Boyardee, consideration ronies. Get your And there is an interesting theme actually in regards to Hammerfell that has to do with snakes.
What next, giant snakes?
Or specifically a serpent of the cosmos, and this serpent has a pretty interesting backstory that seems to indicate it could be a very good antagonist in an Elder Scrolls game, if not just a boss in ESO or something. Maybe it is a boss in ESO too. Everything is a boss in ESO. ESO is actually a pretty good game. I do like ESO. But either way, the fact that there is some kind of big-time snake baddie that is nested deep within the Hammerfell lore, and even tied into the lore with Yokudan as well, is very interesting as well. So let's start over here on the Elder Scrolls wiki, and you can see they're talking about Satakal, and Satakal, the world skin, is the Yokudan god of everything. And for those of you who don't know, Yokudan is basically where the Hammerfell are from, more or less. It's their island, which is now believed to be completely sunk into the ocean for bad reasons, basically. actually, but it goes on to say that Sadakel, the world skin, is the Yokudan god of everything, and a fusion of the concepts of Anu and Padme, who are pretty much the two beings that created the entire universe in the Elder Scrolls. They even predate the Aedra and the Daedra. It's very mysterious regarding who they are, and even Sithis himself or herself are offspring, more or less, from Anu and Padme. So, like every race in the Elder Scrolls kind of has their own origin story and creation story, basically kind of like how Earth does. Also, like every different religion has their own take, but there are similarities in a lot of these different stories that vary from race to race in the Elder Scrolls, and some races rename Anu and Padme to something else, or Anu and Padme are a different thing altogether, but still are basically the representation of what Anu and Padme are, and Sithis also. Sithis is a common figure, but let's go on. Continuing to read this, it says that basically Sadakel the World Skin is a fusion of the concepts of Anu and Padme, and again, Sadakel the World Skin is deep in early Hammerfell creation lore. And Sadakel is driven by hunger to eat one world to begin another, so it essentially destroys something to create something new. It's that old, like, the end is a new beginning kind of thing that we see in a lot of these types of stories. Sadakel also has much in common with the Nordic Elduin, so there you go, Elduin is the world eater, so that's interesting. And in Yokudan mythology, Sadakel has done and still does this exact thing, destroying a world and creating another one. He still does that over and over and over again, a cycle which prompted the birth of spirits that could survive this transition, notably Ruptka. Man, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Ruptka was the first who learned how to survive this transition from a world being destroyed and a new one being created. Basically, it's just destroying creation and, like, resetting itself. It's like the Reapers in Mass Effect. There you go. It's like the Reapers in Mass Effect. And eventually, these spirits who learned how to survive this process of destruction and creation ultimately became the Yokudan pantheon. And Sadakel is a popular god of the Elakir nomads. Redguard creation myth holds that they are doomed to mortality because they are very far away from the real world of Sadakel, and the safe haven of the far shores is too far away for them to jump to from the mortal world, and basically the far shores are more or less the Redguard afterlife, the Redguard paradise where they want to go when they pass away, but they believe that they can't go there from this mortal plane, and they're basically abandoned here. And Sadakel, like any other destructive entity in Nirn or in basically any Elder Scrolls lore, has people who worship it. So yay for that. And the worshippers are called Sadakels, and I guess that works. It just works. And they proved resistant to transitioning to the 8 Divines, which means they didn't want to, like, stop worshiping Sadakel to worship the 8 Divines. And down here in the origin, this is interesting too. It says, to the Yokudans, Satak is the snake who came before. All the worlds to come rested in the glimmering scales of Satak, and there was nothing except Satak. Nothing else had the space to exist. The worlds on Satak's skin put out a call to be saved, and they were heard by Aki, the hungry stomach of Satak. Aki made itself known, and Satak gave into hunger and began eating. Soon there was enough room to live in the worlds, and things began in this violent time. Pretty soon, Aki caused Satak to bite its own heart, and then Satak died, as you would if you somehow bit your own heart. I don't know how you'd survive that. The hunger refused to stop, though, even in death. And so the first serpent shed its skin to begin anew. As the world died, Sadakel begins. So Sadakel basically had an origin story, an ancestor named Satak, and when Satak bit its own heart and basically ate itself, Sadakel is repeating that cycle. So that's super interesting, and in case you didn't follow that entire thing, the TL Doctor, the quick summary is, in early Redguard lore, there is a creation story involving a serpent, which pretty much is the creation serpent, and the serpent destroys creation only to make it anew. It's just that old destruction and creation cycle. And then in regards to the serpent constellation, which no doubt is linked to Satak and Sadakel in some way, is this interesting information that says that basically Sadakel, the serpent, respects no master in terms of the cosmos. It moves across the heavens, threatening the other constellations in its path. He slitters through the sky ever-changing with the stars, and the dwarves smart to watch him, just as each guardian watches charges. So I mean, it should be obvious immediately how dangerous the serpent is and how it can prove basically a pretty serious antagonist. If it's trying to end this cycle of creation, the cycle that their character will no doubt be living in, and the same cycle as Oblivion and Skyrim and everything, if that cycle of creation is somehow being threatened by Sadakal, I'm sure that there will be some kind of unified effort to stop it. Now, how you'd go about stopping that, I am not sure, but I'm pretty sure I know who would know how to stop Sadakal: the Red Guards, and no doubt that's why the Elder Scrolls 6 would take place in Hammerfell and High Rock if Sadakal was actually the main antagonist of the game. And if the Thalmor were also in the game, no doubt we can like think that they're the initial antagonists, the actual real bad guys the entire time, but then halfway throughout the game make this big massive revelation discovery that yes, they are a threat, but also Sadakal is awakening to destroy this cycle of creation, and that's obviously a bigger deal. And I think that would actually make for a more interesting story than my original story regarding the Thalmor trying to destroy the Adamantite Tower. No doubt they would seek to gain a lot of power by doing that, but Sadakal is something a lot of people wouldn't see coming, just like Elduin is something that a lot of people wouldn't see coming. But the only thing that I see as a possible flaw with this is Sadakal's story, the story of the Redguard serpent, more or less, has a little bit too much in common with Elduin, right? Elduin is the world eater. He goes around and he destroys worlds, only I don't think Elduin actually also creates the worlds. I might be wrong about that. You can like correct me down in the comments below if I am. I just think Elduin just basically is the world eater and destroys worlds. I don't think he like actually creates ones to replace the ones he has destroyed, which Sadakal seems to do, because Sadakal destroys creation and creates a new cycle. Pretty much, it's like the serpent eating its own tail. That's literally what that symbol is in the Elder Scrolls lore. It's the serpent eating its own tail because it's eating itself. It's eating creation. It's like one of the main driving factors in the creation of the universe, according to early Redguard lore in Yokudan, so it makes sense that that symbol would be the symbol for Sadakal. Now, this is just a theory I formed on things I was able to research from this community conversation and investigation I had a couple days ago on Discord. Obviously, I'm not an expert in regards to any of this, so if someone has some more insight into this, feel free to drop it down in the comment below, and if it's interesting enough, and if I get enough stuff to talk about again, I'll definitely revisit this theory in a future video. But either way, if you enjoy content like this, be sure to let me know down in the comments below, and I'll do more videos like this. But either way, that's going to finish up everything that I want to talk about in today's video. If you enjoyed the content, be sure to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe and turn notifications on, and be sure to subscribe so you can stay in the know when it comes to the latest news about Bethesda and just gaming in general. And make sure you're still subscribed, because YouTube, for some reason, is possessed by Share Gorath and randomly unsubscribes people. I've been getting comments down below of people saying they don't know why they get unsubscribed. But either way, just check to make sure you're subscribed, please. And huge shout out and much appreciation to everyone that has supported the channel over on Ko-fi, Patreon, and here on YouTube as an exclusive channel member. Like I said, that list that's showcasing everyone who has supported the channel is going up tomorrow, so now is your last chance before you have to wait to get your name added to the next list, which will be updated in a week or so. I will be just adding to this list. I won't be taking away from it, so don't worry. If you have supported the channel, your name's not getting removed. But either way, links for all this and more are down in the description below, and as always, thank you for watching. Be sure to tune in next time. Oh, am I supposed to say something? Oops.
It just works.